Welcome on another episode of Democracy Innovators podcast, and our guest of today is Magnus Strobel. Magnus is working on Nexus Politics, and thank you for your time, Magnus.
Well, Alessandro, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here and finally being able to join your podcast and talk with you about all the important things that are going on in our ecosystem right now.
I hope the same. And as a first question, what is Nexus Politics?
You want the long or the short answer?
You can start with the short one, maybe, and
Okay.
then we.
The short one would be it's a digital democracy platform that is partially a GovTech solution, partially a Civic tech solution. So we're offering citizens the opportunity to easily voice their opinions, concerns, problems, and then we are connecting them with the responsible politicians to make sure that they can be accountable and give updates on what they're doing in order to address these problems and also give them insights into public opinion. So that's it in a nutshell, I would say, but there's more to it.
Okay.
So
And what about the long answer?
the long
Already
version,
here is interesting.
yeah, the long version would be, so first of all, that the problem that we want to address is like the growing dissatisfaction with democracy. So that's something which is not just prevalent in Germany, but I guess it's all over, like at least in all Western democracies. And in our opinion, so what is our opinion? So that's me, my co-founder, Christoph Waffler. We had a long discussion and many thoughts about what is the core problem of why people are becoming more and more increasingly dissatisfied with democracy. And one of the reasons that we came up with was a lack of representation. So many people don't feel represented anymore by their elected officials. And I think it's not just our hunch, but it's also like backed by data. So there's, for instance, a study by the Pew Research Center, which was conducted, I guess, in 2023. And there they looked at citizens from more than 24 democracies and surveyed like more than 30,000 people. And they found that overall, like 59% of the citizens are dissatisfied with like the way their democracy is working currently. So that's a shockingly high number in our opinion. And like 42% of the citizens didn't feel represented by at least one party in the parliament. So that's also shockingly high. And lastly, about 74% of the citizens did not believe that politicians care about their opinions or what people like them think. And yeah, all these numbers, I guess, show that there's a huge lack of representation. So people don't feel represented by their politicians. And of course, there's also a core problem to this. So this is just the surface, but the underlying core problem is, in our opinion, that there's a lack of reliable real-time data on public opinion, which is basically limiting politicians in their ability to make data-driven decision-making and like good representative decision-making. And this is due to a couple of facts, like if you look at the status quo, like how politicians right now form their beliefs about what their constituents think. There are a couple of ways they're doing it. For instance, they can use polls, but polls are quite expensive and are conducted very infrequent. And also, this might be done on the federal level, but probably not so much on the local, municipal level or state level. And then there's legacy media. The problem there is that you have an editorial bias. So depending on which newspaper you read, you get a totally different opinion on what people might think. Then there's social media, of course. In social media, you get all different voices, but the problem there is it's very unstructured, it's noisy, you're within your echo chambers and so on. And then, of course, there's citizen feedback. But citizen feedback, the problem with that is that it's very unrepresentative and selective. So if I would be a politician, I get approached by my voters mostly. So there's a huge selection bias in what I get to hear and what I get to see. And then the solution we came up with is like a platform which allows citizens to voice their opinions, because people have their beliefs, have their opinions, and they're basically looking for tools where they can express it and where they can reach politicians easily. And we are empowering them by giving them an easy tool which they can use to effectively reach the politicians that are in charge, that are responsible. So the way it works is we have kind of a chat window where citizens can just voice their opinions, what's bothering them, their problems, issues, etc. And then our artificial intelligence will analyze the expression of the citizen, will identify the core issue, and will then classify that. And based on the location, based on the category, and so on, it will automatically assign it to the responsible politician. So that's the first problem we are solving here for citizens, because for instance, me as a citizen, if I have a problem, I would not automatically know for sure who's the right person to contact, but we're facilitating that process by like directly sending it to the responsible politician, and then they're aware of the issue, and you get assigned as a citizen like a problem ID, and based on that problem ID, you can basically track the entire legislative process, like from problem creation all the way up to it being resolved and probably or hopefully ending up in a legislative act which solves or addresses this issue. And like this is the whole process. And then once we have all the data on what people think, then we can help politicians make better informed decisions by giving them kind of a dashboard for public opinion analytics. And on that dashboard, they have different features where they can analyze by category, where they can analyze by time, so they can see which problems are trending, for instance, in their constituency. They can see it on a heat map. They can analyze it by socio-demographics and so on. So this is all data which citizens can provide voluntarily in order to allow politicians to make better informed decisions. And this is like the first step in our project. But of course, we are very ambitious, so we want to extend the whole product by adding additional features, because once we start from the very beginning, like from the problems all the way to the solutions, there are of course different steps in between. So we want to add additional features like crowd lawmaking, for instance, so that we can engage citizens more in the legislative process. We offer opinion polls so that politicians can get additional insights on what citizens think. And for public officials, we are offering a customer relationship management system. So it's a dedicated system for public officials where they can manage their constituent requests and better give better updates on what they are doing in contrast to how it works right now. So status quo would probably be like, I send an email to my politician, voice my concern or issue, then I get a very nice email as a reply saying, well, thank you, Magnus, it's a very important issue, and then I probably never hear back from them. And with our tool, you can track the whole process, and for politicians, it makes it much more efficiently, because they have their own workspace, so they can collaborate with other politicians from the same party, for instance, and therefore, get being closer to their constituents and giving better feedback on what's actually happening. So we are opening up the black box of politics, so to say.
Okay. And I was wondering, when you first had the idea that technology could be helpful to the political life,
when we had this idea.
Yeah, when you had this idea, or maybe like many years ago, I don't know, you have read a book, you realized that it
Mhm.
was useful to use technology inside the political sphere field.
Yeah. Well, first of all, as a German, I'm one of the many who are very frustrated with how public administration works here. So just the other day, I spent like a whole afternoon in the municipal office just to register my apartment, like for another place. And yeah, so I feel like there's a lot which can be done more effectively and efficiently with technology. So that has been a feeling for a while, and I think I'm not unique to this. But in general, like I came very much in contact with like these new technologies like AI during my PhD. So there I got the chance to sign up for OpenAI as a beta tester, kind of, so I could use the product early on, see what it could do. And yeah, but back then I, to be honest, didn't have in mind that we can directly apply it to politics. So that was more like we came up together, like with Christoph, my co-founder. So he's the tech guy in our team. He's I tend to call him a child prodigy because he's first of all very young, but also super smart, and he knows like ways to use technology for the better and help us with making our products very efficiently and applied there.
Yeah, and about I mean, your PhD. Like, would you like to share something about your academic background? Um,
Sure.
what have you studied?
So by training, I'm an economist. So that probably happened by chance, I would say. So I got my high school diploma in 2008. And back then, as you might know, there was the great financial crisis. And yeah, I was always interested in what was going on. So I read the newspapers, but to be honest, I didn't have any clue about why it should affect me in my small town in Germany if like some stock market indices are crashing in New York. So I got interested in economics. Everyone told me, well, if you want to understand that kind of thing, you should study economics. So that's what I did. I got my bachelor's and master's in economics, and was always also very interested in the human side. So with human side, I mean the psychology of people, like why do people behave the way they do? I mean, that's also a big part in the financial world because you have all kind of irrationalities people tend to exhibit. So behavioral biases, like herding behavior and stuff like that. And yeah, this is what I focused on in my PhD. So I got a PhD in behavioral economics, which is like in between economics and psychology. So why do people behave the way they do? And how can we achieve that people make better decisions? So for instance, save more for retirement and stuff like that. And yeah, I got lucky that I was accepted at Technical University of Munich for my PhD. Studied there for 5 years, got a lot of interesting insights, also worked with machine learning during my PhD, became familiar with the basics, at least how it works. And yeah, after that, I worked in finance, got some experience there, but I was always very interested in entrepreneurship. Um, so, for instance, even during my bachelor's already, I was working as a student research assistant at the LMU Entrepreneurship Lab or Center, and yeah, got my first exposure there. Met some very incredible people there, and ever since was it was on my agenda to yeah, maybe also become an entrepreneur one day, and finally it happened now.
I was thinking about this dissatisfaction. I mean that people do not feel represented, And I was trying to because there is this question in my mind every time: why people do not participate in the public life, why they do not, why they do behave in this way. And I was wondering how it can be associated, like with some. You mentioned like a behavior economy. No,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if you have any idea.
First of all, I guess people are lazy, and you have to make it very easy for them to participate in the public life and to be civically engaged. And I guess that's one of the key problems we're facing. That there are a lot of formats which require you to be available at certain times, for instance. So, like, you can go to evening events, talk to politicians there, etc. But you also have to be be there in person, and that makes it tricky for people who are working regular jobs and so on. So we should definitely decrease the threshold or lower the threshold for people to engage by offering them first digital access, then also making it possible to attend asynchronous, like not in real time, but share your opinions whenever it's suitable for you. Because you might come up with something that's bothering you at one point, but then you might have forgotten about it until there's an opportunity to raise your voice and yeah, communicate it to your local representative. And I guess whatever we can do in order to decrease that participation threshold helps to get more and more people engaged. And the more people we get engaged, the higher the representativeness and the better it is for democracy. So this is what we are trying to achieve, creating a very inclusive environment, which makes it very easy for people to participate when they want, where they want, and the way they want. So either by voicing their opinion publicly or also privately, because sometimes you might have issues, concerns that you're not willing to share in public, but which is still very important to you. And therefore, we have to give citizens, yeah, ways to achieve that. And that's what we're trying to achieve with Nexus Politics.
And from the idea to the product, how it was the journey? So all the steps.
A roller coaster ride, as probably most entrepreneurs might say. Well, but to be honest, right now, most roller coasters start by going up very steeply. So it has been the same for us. So I met my co-founder Christoph last year through the entrepreneurial network of Technical University of Munich, and then we started brainstorming about our product, about our idea. And towards the end of the year, it got more serious. So we started applying for funding. And then we got lucky by having been selected for the Exist scholarship, Exist Gründerstipendium, that's how it's called in German. And there we get support by the Federal Ministry for Economics and also the European Social Fund. So we are fully funded for a whole year now. And yeah, we tackled most of the obstacles at the beginning. So we also got office space at the Technical University in the incubator. We got all kind of support from Technical University. So it's a really, really great environment to build your company. It's probably one of the best in the world. I would say, like, you get startup consultancy, which you can use for free. So we had our own startup consultant. Shout out to them. Big thanks for the help. And they help you navigate all these steps which you're required to do at the very beginning, like giving you insights on funding opportunities and so on. Now we got office space, we got funding. Currently, we are like enlarging our team, so we get some students supporting us in our project, and yeah, we are currently working on our prototype. So we got some politicians that we're working with. So we spoke with lots of politicians from all levels, like in the German Bundestag, like federal level, state level, so the Bavarian parliament, and also the local level. And yeah, many of them are sharing insights on what they need, what they would like us to build. So we are trying to approach this whole thing very need-based, in a sense that they tell us what their pain points are, and then we are trying to address it directly and incorporating it in our product. And yeah, of course there are obstacles, but that's the fun part, I guess. You want to challenge, accept the challenge, and yeah, master it quite well. And so far it's going well. We have a lot of getting a lot of traction and attention. So we have been invited at many different events where we can present our idea. And yeah, we are already getting at this point where we are not just reaching out to people, but people are reaching out to us and offering their support and so on. So it's a great journey. Highly encourage it. Highly encouraging others to also embark on this journey and give it a try. And I guess that's the most important thing. You just have to get started at one point. You'll probably pivot another million times, but that's part of the journey. And yeah, eventually it will hopefully bring you somewhere and allow you to make some impact along the way.
Yeah, sometimes we think too much. Maybe like doing it can be a way of also, I mean, modifying our idea, changing our idea on the way. And I was curious because I remember that you organized also an hackathon with students. And how did it work? Like,
It was a great success. So we are always looking for people supporting us, and one idea was to yeah, engage students who are very interested in our idea and give them the opportunity to yeah, collaborate with us and provide us with some interesting insights in how they would solve our problems. So what we did is we partnered with the Public Makers, a great student initiative, also at the Technical University, and they helped us setting up the hackathon in Heilbronn at the campus there. And at the beginning, we were expecting maximum 20 students to participate, but it turned out we got like more than 40 coming to our event, and we posted 3 different challenges where students could come up with their own solutions, like technical challenges. So, for instance, showing different or like creating a heat map, for instance, where we can exhibit all the issues which citizens are facing. And yeah, at the end of the day, we got very interesting results out of that, and very good connections with the students. Was a great atmosphere, and I guess helped us quite a bit in our journey.
and with politicians, you said that you talk to them. I mean, you talk to politicians of every level, and I was wondering what was their preparation um, compared like to these kind of technologies. I mean, they were just excited because it was something new, or do you think that they were like I don't know?
Yeah. So I guess you could get politicians from all kind of walks of life, so different backgrounds and so on, and therefore some are very interested, some are not so much. But overall, I guess there's a very, very good feedback from politicians. They're very interested in our product overall. I would say just because we decided that our business model will be such that we are offering the customer relationship management system for free for politicians, because that gives politicians the opportunity to be accountable to their constituents, and this is creating the largest impact. And also because it offers us the opportunity to gather a lot of data, like then whatever data or whatever citizens complain already to politicians will then be routed via our platform. And with this data, we can kind of solve the chicken egg problem of getting citizens, respectively politicians, in our platform. And yeah, since we offer this for free to politicians, there's a lot of interest, because it definitely gives them a value add. Because right now, I guess most politicians don't have a dedicated CRM system which they're using in their daily work. So most, I guess, work with like Microsoft Outlook for getting emails, inbound emails from citizens. And then some are using Excel sheets maybe to track like who complained about what and when. And sometimes they might send them an update, but mostly they don't. And yeah, we are basically offering the first dedicated system for politicians that they can use. And therefore, there's a lot of interest in that. Of course, there are also parts about our product which, yeah, they don't like that much. So the transparency part, maybe, where we want to make politics a little more measurable and make it more transparent for citizens, like what their elected officials are doing. But of course, that also depends on the politicians. There are some who embrace it and see it as a big step forward in the way democracy should work. But yeah, it's as always in life. There are ups and downs and pros and cons. And overall, I would still say politicians are very eager to see our product finally launching. And then yeah, it's also because we engage with them quite well. Like we, as I mentioned, we give them the opportunity to suggest features and tools they are looking for, they are needing. And since we work with them so closely, I guess they really feel heard, and they feel like they can get something out of that collaboration, because at the end of the day, it will be a great product or tool that they can use in their daily lives, which saves them a lot of work. So just to give you an example, for instance, within one party, sometimes it happens that several politicians within one party get the same email from the same citizen. Then they, by accident, might find out that they all got the same email. So then they want to coordinate who's going to reply to that particular email. So they just send each other hundreds or sometimes thousands of emails, depending on how many people are in the party, just to coordinate on who will respond to one single email from a citizen. And this is surely not very efficient and would save them lots of hours of work. And therefore, I guess we are creating a lot of value add for them in their daily works, and that gives them the opportunity to deploy this labor more effectively in other domains where it can have a greater impact than just sending emails around.
Yeah, and I didn't ask anything about you, about I don't know, your childhood. Like, if you'd like to share something, where did you?
Sure. I think I touched it earlier already a little bit. So I got my high school diploma. I was always very
Yeah.
interested in society, economics. Yeah.
No. I remember your academic background. More like, where did you grow? Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
was it a normal
I'm from
family? Okay.
sure. More the private stuff. Yeah. As you can probably hear, I'm from Germany by my accent, and I grew up in Baden-Württemberg, and yeah, during my childhood, I guess I was always very interested in sports. So I did track and field, was running the 400 meters. So that prepares you well for life because you're willing to take in a lot of suffering. Especially the last 100 meters on the 400 are quite hard, and that was a good preparation for life in general, I guess. But apart from sports, I was always very interested in society and economics, I guess. So my parents encouraged me to read the newspapers. So we had lots of different newspapers already lying around in our house, and I got interested mostly in the economics part, because I think economics is a very big determinant of how society unfolds. Like if you're in an economic crisis, then society takes a big hit, for instance, and therefore civil life will also go in a much different direction than it would otherwise do, as we can probably see in Argentina right now and before. And yeah, therefore that was what I was mostly interested in. But I already had like lots of different interests, also in technology, and I like to travel a lot, go to different countries. There you, yeah, tend to talk to people also about politics, of course, and then you eventually figure more or less everyone is having similar problems at the end of the day. And yeah, this is also very encouraging, because for us it means that our product is scalable. So we can not just use it in Germany, but we can also deploy it to other representative democracies all over the world. But yeah, the way I ended up where I am right now was, I guess, more or less by chance. Of course, I always have plans and I'm planning ahead, but in life, you have to take it the way it comes. So yeah, my academic journey was very fruitful and helpful for what I'm doing now. And yeah, let's see where the journey continues, and which way it's gonna go.
Yeah, I was thinking about the because you said something related to economy and how it can change citizen behaviors. So
Hmm.
like economic can also be a sort of kind of incentive, maybe. I mean, when they talk about gamification and about I don't know, giving something to the user that may to the citizen that participate. Um, I was thinking that this can also be a sort of incentive for people to participate. I know that some people agree, some disagree. In some way, I think that a citizen that is using his or her own time to participate in the public life can be also compensated as if he's a politician, like I
Hmm.
would say a part-time politician. And
Yep.
yeah, I was wondering if with all these kind of technologies that are being developed now, I mean, these civic tech software, gov tech software, if in the future we will see some, if every one of us will become in some way a part-time politician, uh, because we participate, and maybe there is some AI that listen and that
Hmm.
write to the right person, to the right politician, that then I don't know, what are your ideas, if you had any thought about possibilities in the future.
I mean, that would be awesome. I guess with AI, you always have to be careful, of course, but I tend to see the positive side as bigger than the negative side. Of course, with great potential comes great responsibility and great threats. But I guess AI is definitely something which is very helpful to see the patterns in the noise that we are seeing right now in public opinion, because just starting from like the way citizens express themselves. Sometimes they have problems like expressing the underlying core problem, what they are trying to say. So just to give you an example, like I might say, like my local kebab is becoming so expensive, it doubled in prices, and what I really want to say is that inflation is hitting me hard, so purchasing power is decreasing. So that's like the underlying core problem, or the meta problem which one citizen is facing. And I guess AI is very good in identifying this core problem and then clustering it together with other opinions of the same category, and therefore giving politicians good insights into what's going on. And coming to your point of everyone becoming a mini politician, so to say, I guess that would be awesome. Like I like the direct democracy component of it, because right now what we are picking is we're picking a whole menu of political stances that we are voting for. So we're voting for one party, and there might be some parts in your party that you're voting for that you like, but also something that you dislike. So in Germany, for instance, we have this so-called Wahlomat, where prior to each federal election, you can rate different statements based on whether you agree, disagree, or see it as neutral. And then at the end, it suggests you which political party might fit to your political view. And typically, at least for me, I get like a maximum overlap of about 2/3, maximum 80% with like one party that overlaps the best with my political views. But still, nonetheless, I have to vote for one party then, which means I have like a third or 20% of that particular party which I don't like, and therefore I see it as an improvement if we could pick à la carte, so to say, like in a direct democracy, like in Switzerland, because metaphorically, you would also not go to a restaurant where you can just pick one fixed menu of like entree, main, and dessert, and then you say don't like one out of the three, but you still have to take all of the three at once and pay for it. And therefore, I guess it's a good way forward if we create tools which allow us to express our views in different direct or to different topics, because I guess in the past it might have been easier in terms of you had one view and you fit it very well to one party, but these days the world is becoming more and more complex, and with these complexities, I guess the different variations of political views that you're seeing increases as well, and therefore the mismatch of citizens and their parties, and therefore technical tools provide a good way or a good opportunity to address this issue. Of course, technical tools will not solve all problems, because right now they can just be enabling tools to help with the processes that we set up, the political processes. And if they are flawed, like the political system in itself, if that's flawed, then there's only so much you can do about trying to help and fix it with your solutions or technological tools. But yeah, maybe in the end, politics is also adaptive, and maybe we end up in the future making our voting decisions on platforms like Nexus Politics or others, where you can voice your opinions, and then politicians follow the public opinion which is expressed there, to make sure that preferences are better aligned with outcomes in politics.
Yeah, I was thinking also about all possible evolution, like because there is this civic tech and gov tech, that sometimes they are very connected. And so in some way, like if a citizen says something, I don't know, certain kind of problem in the chat, to the chatbot, I mean, the software can connect the citizen to the politician, to the right politician, or in some way, if that things, I don't know, require more citizens, the software can also put more citizen, connect all those citizens together, so that and that approach will be more civic tech in some way. But that is what you were saying about pivoting on the way, that
Yeah,
you can always add or remove feature.
exactly.
And then yeah, you mentioned some features that you wanted to add. I don't know, you have some sort of vision like about in the future. We were saying that it could be possible that there are like part-time politicians, or like small politicians, little politicians, I don't know. If you have any idea about I mean, I'm sure you have, and also we talked about it before. How do you expect like democracy like to be in 5, 10, 20 years? If you think that
It's a very good question. I think there will be changes coming, for sure, because what I'm personally foreseeing is that we have, as a society, we're facing lots of challenges ahead. First and foremost, the technological revolution, and what I see there is that so of course we always had technological progress over time, meaning that new jobs were being created, and it was always very beneficial for society overall. And I think this time it might be different. The reason for that being is that in the past, like we had the industrial revolution. So first people were working on the fields, but then the industrial revolution basically freed them from their labor on the fields, put them in factories, and there they worked there. But then in the factories, they also eventually became obsolete because machines did a much better work than human labor could do there. So they ended up in the tertiary sector, so doing cognitive work. And then now we're at the point in time where also cognitively machines are becoming better than humans, or at least are at par with humans. And the problem that I see is that there are only so many domains in which humans can do work. So there's the one component is labor, and the other one is cognitive. So physical work and cognitive work. These are the two which humans can do, and maybe emotional work as a third category. But at least in the physical and in the cognitive domain, machines are now at par or becoming even better than humans, meaning now when humans are becoming also obsolete in the tertiary sector, so the white collar jobs which are being replaced, then I don't see too many domains left where humans can do any work, because like capitalism dictates that everything that can be done by a machine faster, better, and cheaper will eventually be done by a machine. And therefore, I guess we are running out of last domains where humans can retreat to. One, as I mentioned, might be emotional work, which also where I also see like entertainment, for instance, so sports and that kind of stuff, which might become more and more important. I guess we also see it in the salaries already, where sports stars are earning crazy amounts of money because there's people are freed from labor, hence they have more free time, hence they need to consume, hence they want to be entertained, and the more attention is being directed into this entertainment industry, the more money there is, of course. And what I'm trying to say here is that we are facing challenges because technology will free us even more and more from work, and then I guess the transformational process up to a new societal setup will be the challenging part. So we have to find solutions, how we want to structure our economies and our societies when there's not enough labor for everyone anymore. So if there's mass unemployment and increases, then I guess we must come up with solutions, be it universal basic income, be it other forms of how people are rewarded for participating or contributing to society. So you mentioned earlier, for instance, that you can become a mini politician, and by doing that you have positive externalities, and then we might have to think about maybe we can reward these positive externalities that you are having with your work to society. And so it's going to be very interesting. To be honest, I don't have any solution, otherwise I would express it here. But I can clearly see some challenges coming up. And I guess Nexus Politics is going to be one platform where we can have a decent discussion about how we want to address these issues, what kind of societal setups we want to implement in the future. And hopefully we get to get it operational with everything included in time to have these conversations. But to be honest, I think the technological revolution always takes place in non-linear relationships. So it's not that every year so and so many percent will be replaced, but it's more like not non-linear, so exponential growth, for instance. So right now we're talking about it, but we don't seeing any progress. But then all of a sudden it will be omnipresent, and many white-collar people will lose their jobs, and then we should definitely be prepared. So better have the conversations now to make sure that the transformation process will not be that nasty.
Yeah, I'm thinking about agentic AI that will probably show how much AI will change our society, because and I'm thinking about other maybe I don't know, products, software companies that you're following. They are excited because I don't know, maybe they're doing something complementary to Nexus Politics, or like
well, there are very interesting projects out there. So I'm always open for having conversations with like-minded people. So I'm reaching out to a lot of platforms that are doing similar work or in the same ecosystem. I find some very interesting. So Crowd Insights, for instance, are doing, I would say, similar work to us. So it's a civic tech solution where they also give citizens the opportunity to participate by voicing their opinions. I guess Go Vocal is something which is related to our work, which is quite interesting. But then the most prominent out there, at least in Germany, is probably the Wahlomat, which I mentioned, which gives citizens the opportunity to find parties that are matching for upcoming elections with their preferences. Then there are more established ones, which might be change.org, which is a petition platform. And I guess all of them, what they share is they offer one particular solution to one particular problem. And the difference in our approach is that we want to have it all integrated, like in one platform, such that you don't have a million apps on your mobile phone, which you use for each individual use case, but you just have it all combined together on one platform, which allows you to easily do everything that is related to politics. And we are very open to collaboration. So we decided for us that we want to do the whole project open source, because first of all, open source creates transparency. Transparency builds trust, and trust is very much needed because in the political space, we want to make sure that everyone believes us, that we are non-partisan, which is our goal or objective. So we want to offer everyone a platform to voice their opinions, concerns, etc., to make it very representative, because that's what at the end is needed in order to make it useful for democracy and not just creating one other echo chamber out there. And yeah, since we are doing it open source, I guess there's lots of opportunities for other projects to collaborate with us, like by us sharing our data and maybe vice versa, or where they can build solutions on top of our platform. And yeah, happy to reach out to other fellow like-minded entrepreneurs who want to make an impact and help us yeah, tackling the problems that we are facing democracy-wise with good solutions.
Yeah, it's always nice to collaborate. And I was thinking, are you facing any kind of problem right now? I don't know, there is something you would like to fix, or maybe there is, I don't know, you're searching for a certain kind of person, skill. Maybe someone will listen. And,
Yeah. So the main problem we are facing is that our days only have 24 hours, and we are already working like crazy, but can't get everything done. Of course, we are using a lot of AI internally as well, but still we are looking always for people willing to support us. So I guess there are different forms of how to support us. So first of all, we created this so-called democracy ambassador program, where mostly students, but also other people who are interested can support us with yeah, helping us, for instance, with our social media accounts or other stuff, like voluntarily whenever they want to. And in exchange, we have some perks and benefits which we are offering them. So we're inviting them to different events, or giving them some goodies every now and then in exchange for the work. So that's would be the first thing. Second thing is, I guess, like, we are very ambitious. We want to grow. So we are always looking for other people joining our team. So if you have like very good technical skills, so this is what we are looking for right now, then feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, also if you are very well connected in the political space, I guess would be very happy to have a chat. If you can open some doors to us in terms of gaining potential customers, that would be very much appreciated. But also it's the unknown unknowns. So if you feel like you can contribute to our project by something I didn't mention yet, feel free to reach out to us, and maybe we find a way of how to yeah, go in this journey together.
And if you have any message for the people in the civic tech, gov tech space, I mean, people that are exploring, finding new solutions, experimenting.
Well, I guess my main message would be keep going. So first of all, if you haven't started yet, give it a try. Just go out, try it, talk to politicians, talk to public administration officials. You will find a million problems out there which are worth solving. And you might be amazed how much positive feedback you're getting, because I tend to say we are riding the wave of political dissatisfaction, which is more like a tsunami right now, and not just a little wave. And I mean, this is good in the sense that it helps us like coming up with or getting a lot of support on our mission. And yeah, I highly encourage others to do the same, because at the end of the day, there are so many problems that every one of us can only offer a single puzzle piece to the whole thing. And yeah, all the work is needed, like all your contributions are needed. So if you don't know where to get started, reach out to me and I can name you some potential avenues. But other than that, keep pushing. I know it's sometimes very bumpy, the journey, and it can be very discouraging every now and then. But I guess great satisfaction only comes from great suffering, and that's something I learned from running the 400 meters. So only if it was very, very painful during the race, you get this feeling of satisfaction at the end. And I guess it's very much the same for entrepreneurship. So keep pushing, tackle the big challenges, and make an impact.
Thank you. And if you'd like to add anything else, maybe that I haven't asked you um, about Nexus Politics, if you want to add something else, or if you think that you mentioned all the important things.
Mm, there's so much. I guess I could continue talking for like hours. But I would just say stay tuned. There's more to come. So we are very early stage as of now, but we are making big leaps forward. So yeah, there's more to come. And I think I would just make use of the opportunity now to thank our supporters who already contributed quite significantly to this project. So first of all, a big thank you and shout out to my incredible co-founder, Christoph. Like, he's an amazing guy, super smart, super intelligent, knowledgeable in the tech space. So it's a great pleasure working with him. Then our sponsors, like from the Exist Scholarship, we're also supported by the Professorship of Policy Analysis at the Technical University of Munich. So that's amazing to have them on board. We have some democracy ambassadors supporting us, and of course the entire TUM ecosystem with the incubator, the startup consultancy, etc., who are supporting us. So big thanks to all of you, also to the politicians with whom we're working already, for giving us that trust at the beginning. I know it's very risky for politicians to support yeah, for-profit projects which are out there, which you don't know yet in which direction it will be developing. But yeah, we have great supporters out there, and yeah, let's hope that we can continue with the traction we have as of now.
Yeah. Thank you, Magnus. Thank you for your time.
Alessandro, thank you for having me on this podcast. Great pleasure to be invited by you, talking about Nexus Politics, and keep it up, your great work. I love your podcast, and I'm already curious to all the other upcoming participants.
We'll see. Thank you again.
Thank you.